Hello, welcome back to the Compliance Kitchen podcast. This is Sylvia, and I will start today with remnants of Brexit, I guess you could say. The EU member states at the end of April 21 endorsed the Council's position on the €5 billion fund, Brexit, also known as Brexit Adjustment Reserve, that was designed to mitigate the immediate economic impact of Brexit. The reserve is to focus on the regions and sectors of the EU that are most affected by UK leaving the Union and are to be used to pay for things such as compensating businesses for lost trade, protecting jobs, setting up customs checks at ports, and so forth. Now, according to the Council's press release, the Council's position endorses a 4-year period starting January 1, 2020 to December 31, 2023, so that costs incurred during this time frame as a result of Brexit can be covered in full or in part, and the draft regulation establishing the reserve provides an indicative and non-exhaustive list of eligible measures such as assistance to businesses and fishing communities, short-term work schemes, retraining programs, and so forth. The next step to continue with this process, the Council is going to present this to the European Parliament to approve its position, after which there's going to be talks on the draft regulation, and the goal is to reach an agreement before the summer recess so that the first installment from the reserve can be paid before the end of this year. So again, as usual, this is a summary, but if you're following this or this is of interest to you, I have a link to the press release, and also for the Council's mandate on the reserve, I also have a link to the official documents on the website on compliancekitchen.com. Now moving on, we will switch gears and look at some settlements. So SAP Settlement. This was with the Commerce Department, the DOJ, and Treasury, OFAC, and this was on April 29 when the Commerce Department announced an administrative settlement with SAP SE, which is a German multinational. SAP voluntarily self-disclosed potential violations of the EAR, or Export Administration Regulations, to the Bureau of Industry and Security, and cooperated with the government during the investigation. According to the Commerce Department's release, the settlement resolves allegations that SAP, over the span of about a decade, really from 2009 through 2019, engaged in conduct that's prohibited by the EAR when SAP exported products that included software, upgrades, and patches from the United States to different end users located in various destinations, including sanctioned countries such as Iran, and this was done without an export license. So the items were controlled for encryption and national security reasons, which is why the license would be required. The DOJ and OFAC entered into separate agreed-upon resolutions with SAP, and I guess the most important kind of compliance expectation that was expressed by the government in this case is the Geoblocking, right? So that the US government expects technology companies to adopt an effective geo-blocking program or process, so that when there's an IP address that's coming from a sanctioned jurisdiction, that transaction gets blocked. And in this case, OFAC called out the particular need for a blocking process or solution when a company is providing services, globally through a cloud or even through third parties. Obviously, this is probably not that new. Servers that are based in the US are servers that are subject to US rules. So because the US sanctions and export controls have such broad extraterritorial reach, if you provide services or download software from US servers, that could be and likely would be considered an export, and it may require an export license. So that was a quick update on a settlement, and we will look at some other settlement agreements that came out just last week in the next episode. Thanks for stopping by.